morning, Saskatchewan, and welcome to semifinal Sunday here this morning at the Highland Curling Club in Regina as we get set for one heck of a final day of curling, the best of Saskatchewan on the ice this weekend here in Regina. And we got a rematch of the game you called last night, Lyle, the Shaun Meachem rink against Matt Dunstone. And we all know so much about Matt Dunstone, of course, from the Brier last year and his journey, but the Shaun Meachem rink's been pretty good, too, themselves. You watched the game last night. Yep. I know it was quick, but it should set up a pretty good rematch today.
It's one of the great things about sports, I think, Darren, is the fact that what happened last night doesn't have anything to do with what happens today. Meachem's a good, strong team from beginning to end. They got run over a little bit last night. And Matt and the boys are really good when they started to get on top of you. They really went to work on them. They kept the pressure on, and that ended up with a quick game. So if they don't get the lead early today, this could be a totally different battle.
Shaun Meachem is that veteran at skip for that rink. It's a younger group, but he seems to just always find a way to bail them out when they're in trouble.
That's what I see. Now, last night was a great example. They were facing three, I believe, in about the second end. Sitting in the forefoot, he had to play a double tap to the forefoot, and it's tough enough at that time of the game to draw, let alone tap, and he made a double tap, kept the game alive, but just ran out of tricks as the boys just kept applying pressure.
Cody Harding's rink and Colton Flash's rink both finished 1 and 3 and sitting on the outside. Shaun Meachem finishing 2 and 2, sitting in third place, and it's the Matt Dunstone rink, the Ryland Kleider rink, both 3 and 1, but it was Kleider who beat Dunstone way back on Friday night. That's what gave their ticket to the final. It's the young guys, all 21, 22 years old, coming off the wonderful junior run. They're kind of taking the old boys to task.
You know what? I really believe this. I think they probably work harder. They've had ice early in Saskatoon, and I don't mean harder. I think they got a nice early start, really went to work at it, and they're determined. They're well coached, and they work very hard at the game. So I'm not at all surprised by how good they are to start. And I'm not surprised that they fit in. I am a little bit surprised that they didn't even remotely look intimidated. In fact, I think today they're doing the intimidating.
Absolutely. They're waiting for the final, which will be ready to go, we believe, just after 1 o'clock local time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So here we go in the opening end here, the semifinal. And of course, we've talked a lot about the changes to all of the teams. It's always fun watching, the player movement and whatnot, and sometimes it takes time to adjust. It doesn't just happen overnight, right? Even if you're adding better players to your team, sometimes communication, chemistry, those things matter in curling.
I've often thought that, and we've as we've worked at different teams throughout the years, you get to a certain point, then you realize the only thing that's going to make you better is better team dynamics, the ability to pull that extra half shot out of one of your teammates. I felt like yesterday watching all the new squads, all of them had a bit of a hiccup here or there where I see them, because we're on the mics, we get to listen, and we're part of their team. Right?
Yeah.
And I found the sense that when things weren't going good, they started to withdraw, and I think that went right across the board with the new squads, because everybody hasn't figured out their role yet, and they will have to do that in order to be successful. But the content, or the fact that teams like Flash and Hartung didn't qualify for the playoffs here tells you that there's been some pretty strong performances by Shaun Meachem and Ryland Kleider.
Yeah, the curling scene is in good hands in Saskatchewan. It's going to be an interesting year too, as we try and get these events out of the way without any positive cases, and do them safely. And the group here in Regina has done a fantastic job, and I know Kirk and Matt have done a huge job in organizing this and making sure all the right policies are in place. And
yeah, I think they're putting that effort in, because the other thought in this is this might be the new reality for this year. Everybody's got the plan to go out and go play some events, and every week that group of events becomes smaller, and so they say this might be the new reality for this year anyway. But certainly with the Olympic trials coming up next year is. There's going to have to be something happening here. What it is, nobody. If it comes down to one event, that might be the case. But I just looked. Maddie's sitting in a good spot to be in the trials, or at least into the pre-trials. Right now they're sitting in the last trial spot. Shaun is sitting 29th in Canada, which again by his points. He's got good points, and they're a good young team. If they get out there and play a little bit, they could end up in a pre-trial spot, and from there, who knows as well. But without any events, without any points, they're locked in 29th.
Yeah, that's the problem without having the events is how do you get the points and how do you move up?
Yep.
And so for young teams trying to get into that conversation, it makes it awfully tough.
It's wicked faster right now.
Matt Dunstone has the hammer here in 1, throwing the yellow stones.
I said it yesterday, and I want to say it again. Dustin Kidby has had a great weekend. Again, the positioning of those stones to start the end, he has been dynamite.
Are those the new gloves?
He's played ticks, and he's just been all over the place.
Do we have more in there? Nice. Nice.
Coming in to try and break it up, and that will clear out the house.
Be interesting if Matt wants more of this or he peels that guard. I anticipate him peeling that guard and trying to get onto the even ends.
Well, that's one thing. You know, I've done 2 Ryland Kleider games yesterday. One was against Meachem, the other was against Colton Flash, and in both games, not a single blanked end. You know, and not something you typically see at the high level.
Right. It's and I think there's a really good example of Matt could have kept the pressure on, but I think if it might have been, in fact, I would guess if it was an even end, he probably would have kept coming. But this is a great opportunity to flip it and in essence have 4 hammers to 3 if it continues to play out, and I think that is generally a lot of skips thinking on the odd ends.
Braden Stewart's the second for Shaun Meachem.
Whoa!
Well, there was almost some excitement there, Braden.
What happened?
Hit half an inch.
That's all you need.
I needed someone making a curl.
That's all you need.
I love that we get this extra, aspect of it. And when you watch the national broadcasts, you're picking and choosing, and you're getting just the guy in the hack or just the skip, and we get a little bit more of that this weekend at the event. And I think that adds an extra element.
It's good.
It shows a little bit the dynamic of the players and the teams and how they're going to function. So
these are nice gloves, eh? You're good.
Well, we saw that with Colton's team with the flash rink is. Feels almost like you've got co-skips with Catlin Schneider because of the experience he's bringing to that group, and they often make a lot of the decisions together. So I'm really curious to see, because I haven't done one of Maddie's games, is what does Kirk bring to that element in the conversation?
Well, and I think Kirk was very reluctant to ask me to do this job because, as my boys have learned growing up, their dad is pretty hard on him. And my first thought yesterday is that I realize that I think he's looked at this opportunity as something where he feels he can add a little bit, and he'll have to figure out how much, because there's sometimes now that he's in that conversation, perhaps more than he would have sometimes. And it might work for the team, and it might not work. So I think that is what, you start in the first event, and by event number 5 or 6 or 7, he'll need to know. He will know if he has to be more involved or less involved.
Well, let's not forget, Braden Moskowy's sitting there as the third, and you see him now throwing third stones. And he's had a pretty good career as a skip himself.
And Braden is very, if you watch in a tight game, Braden is very active with Matt, and you see him go about halfway down the sheet. And he will throw out one, and I kind of like the approach. He'll throw one suggestion. He doesn't muddle the situation. Matt digests it and carries on. So that dynamic has been really strong and works very well for him. And so it'll be interesting with with another opinion in there, and whether it's positive or negative. But I think it's. I know every skip is a little different. I know when I worked lots with Steve Laycock, and Steve's comment was, "You can throw as much as you want at me. It's my job to figure out what I want to take from that." So,
absolutely,
should be straight there.
Brady Scharback throws third stones for Shaun Meachem.
Just a little soft.
Easy.
Get that maybe biting the forefoot.
Another really good junior. I believe Brady won 2 Saskatchewan junior championships. Had some good runs at the nationals. Didn't quite put it away, but was there. He's had some national experience again. So you go back into this. I like the makeup of Shaun Meachem's team. The 2 young guys in the front end. Our training center in the past is before we made this move to Regina had been in Saskatoon, and I would see those guys out throwing as much as us, and that's a sign that they will be able to make that. If you don't spend time on the ice, and if you're not working at the game, you're either naturally good, and you'll only stay that good. I've seen that so often, and these young guys are working hard to be better, and that's the key.
So now the first from Shaun Meachem here in 1. A pretty clean end.
Just easy.
Sure.
I've often found that the players and you can speak to this a bit, Darren, as well on different sports, but in curling I always found it was really challenging to work with that really good natural curler, because it was hard to add to his game. He knew he was good, he didn't work hard to get there, and to add that level of work ethic was hard. It was a lot easier to work with the average guy that just worked his tail off, because you could move that yardstick forward. And,
we talk about that a lot too, and is the reason why a guy like Wayne Gretzky didn't transition to being a good coach.
Right.
He was just good.
Sure.
I just know how to play.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
He doesn't need to practice, and of course he put in all the work to become the greatest of all time, but
I didn't realize we could get to that one.
But I think that's a case where
it was just time.
I've just found that is that you feel like sometimes you just don't know what to do with that really good player, and sometimes I'll have to tell you, as a coach, I've really put my heart and soul into that, and sometimes I've turned a really good player into a pretty average player too. So everybody's makeup is a little different.
And that's what's fun about it for sure.
Yeah, and yours still came up nice. Yeah. That one kind of troughed the whole way.
I think actually this first end is it's wide open, and my sense is that both teams are probably pretty comfortable with that. I know Maddie would like to get off the odd ends and get to that 4-3 hammer situation, and the way the game went last night for Team Meachem, my guess is they're pretty satisfied with this too, because that was a royal thumping they got last night, and they probably would like to just settle in, make some shots, figure this ice out, and
well,
get
the tough
later
start
into the game.
The tough start against Kleider too. It gave up 3 in the opening end, and that to get a couple under your belt and to stay even, it's not a bad place to be.
Yep. You're not in a position of advantage, but you're not in a lot of trouble. So I think they're probably fairly happy with this start.
I think we've all been throwing down 10s.
Yeah.
Because that thing was like, oh yeah, it's up. And then I looked at my watch, I got 10-0-0.
Yeah. I got 9-9-8.
And that explains why we're starting to get a little bit of curl on our 10s too.
Final stone coming from Matt Dunstone here in 1. Looking for the blank.
Yeah. I agree. But we've also been icing for 10s and not throwing 10s.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. I thought same thing as you, and then I got the stopwatch, and like I said, I got 10-0-0. I was like, holy fuck. That was a bit of an eye-opener, because there's no way that mine was even close to that.
That's going to happen from time to time.
It is.
Say we get away with that because we're on the internet. There it is. Simple.
It's amazing how easy that shot has become for players.
Absolutely. Simple peel and a blank here in 1. One more look at it. So our semifinal here, the Vaderstad Saskatchewan Super Series, presented by Calidon, is off to a good start. Scoreless through 1. Dunstone with the hammer when we're back for 2.
At Core Grain, we strive to be the most qualified grain storage and grain conditioning experts in Canada. Visit us today at coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
Highland Curling Club is our home for the Saskatchewan Super Series this weekend, down to the final 2 games. Ryland Clyder's rink out of Saskatoon, the Young Guns, 3-1 through the round robin. They're waiting in the final. That'll be later this afternoon. Scheduled for 1:15 local time, 3:15 Eastern. And the winner of this, Shaun Meachem and Matt Dunstone. A blank in 1, and Matt Dunstone retains the hammer here in 2.
And unlikely to see a blank in 2 with that stone on top ring for Meachem. Matt decided he could have hit it on the nose, kept out of the rings, but really doesn't generate a lot of offense, and decided to throw the corner guard and try to bring that into play as the end goes on.
All right, Deuce, let's get on this corner, buddy.
Meachem puts one on top, and Matt will try and come around his corner.
Top 4, top 8. Here we go, buddy.
Sorry, Jerry. I guess we gotta kind of get. I guess we gotta kind of leave him. Suppose Broom's down, might get it running a bit. That's true. That's true, actually.
Dustin Kidby out of Regina.
Oh, that's totally true. I totally forgot
Brady
about that.
Sherback just talking a little bit about weight, and the ice does look a little crisper and a little faster than it did last night.
Yeah,
So
your first one was probably heavier than you thought even.
both teams are aware of it.
If you threw your first one that speed with the 8, we could have got like top 4 foot, or would have been top 4.
And this one will
Oh man, I don't know what I
end up
but
with
I got black all over my slider right
good
now.
chunk of that rock in the 12-foot.
Holy
Probably
crap. a
a little deep.
Little deep, yep.
Good
That's one you really like to hook on the top of the rings as the end goes on too often. If Meachem gets down on
That's
top
okay,
of it,
Deuce.
it really
Good shot.
takes it away. But the play is over on that side, so they can work with it. They'll have some opportunities.
good
6
now.
more rocks to work
make
around
this-
that corner, yep.
Good weight, yeah.
Braden Stewart
Looked a
in the
little
hack.
tight
He's the
to
second
me.
for Sean Meachem.
I didn't want to say anything because
Another one of those mixed doubles players.
Yeah, okay.
It's had a lot of success.
Probably
Young
need a
kid,
center.
21 years old.
Just past center with the throw.
Very eager player. I love his passion for the game.
We're going to bring this
Sour
right on
turkey.
top of the yellow stone, sitting on the
Had to have.
right
He
in the
had
8-foot. See if they
Had
can
to
bring
have.
it all the way. Brady Sharback on the
I
broom.
think we
Gets
leave
pretty
that
close.
alone.
Didn't quite get on.
Do you
it.
like
Didn't
making
curl
these
enough,
right now?
but,
Yeah, don't hate it.
I think so. I think that's a good situation.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
You're gonna roll in front of it. That's even better.
Anywhere from a millimeter low to
3/4.
3/4, 2/3 even.
We'll run pretty straight out.
Yeah. Are you going to throw this one hard or what do you?
Like an easy so I can keep it.
Sure.
Like an easy turn.
Yep, I like that. Smooth one.
Yeah.
So we're good, buddy. Parallel.
Some good conversation in the hack. If that's what that'll be, the figuring that out, is that the right conversation
Yep.
for
Gotta
Kurt?
go,
So
boys.
I think it
You got
is.
it.
Yep.
Gotta go. I got it.
Hard.
Really gotta go.
You're good.
Good shot.
And he'll knock
boy.
those two out.
Good shot.
Lose the shooter.
Real good.
You'd like to have hung on to the shooter, put some more rocks on the corner, but pretty good result.
And that'll be fun to watch that conversation develop and how they come about to a final decision.
Right. And they'll do that during their debriefs after games and stuff like that. Is that something you want? Do you want more of that? Do you want less of that?
I think you can go.
They probably have had that conversation already, and so they're offering what
I'm
they
good.
think to be right, and they'll be able, as a team, they'll be able to develop that.
Good curl.
Yeah. They've had enough of that conversation before the move even happened to be
That's right.
comfortable making that decision, right?
I found it interesting. I thought back when Matt signed on with our group with Steve Laycock skipping, was that
You only gotta move
I
it a
thought he was a
foot.
young fella, and we were
won't
very,
be heavy
very
with it, I don't
structured.
think,
We
eh?
had we
No,
were
I don't think
sports
so.
psychologists.
I'll just
We
throw- I'll throw the
were
boys
the
when
way
you
we
think about
approached the
if I
game
throw
was
the boys
straight,
at back
the
eight.
same game over
Yeah,
game
what do you
over
think of
game.
this with back
It was
eight, back
interesting
12?
when we signed Matt. He was already the
I
same
thought it was
place
Max,
we were
so
already.
yeah.
So he's come through another junior program that's very
Because
similar
like, so
to
Deuce
what
took
we've all
there
done
to
too.
draw there, right?
Over there.
And you're throwing the same weight he just threw.
I had Ducey here for his draw.
Okay.
So I think that's perfect.
Yep,
right?
we're good.
You're really trying to throw the same way as Deuce did, and we just swoop the rest, right? Okay, let's go, buddy.
So the second from Kirk Myers. Here in 2.
Little light.
Line's good. T-line. All right, then.
There, buddy.
Back 4. Okay. Line's
Keep going.
good.
You gotta
Gotta
keep
go
going.
a bit. Room.
Not heavy.
Room. We're bumping a bit.
We're bumping
Clean.
like 4 inches.
Clean deuce. Whoa.
Not bumping much.
Whoa. Curl. Whoa. Curl a bit. Whoa. You're going to bounce it enough. It's a great shot.
Oh, good shot, man.
It's even better.
Good.
Great shot.
Good call back.
And there you go. You can hear that conversation even from Braden Moskowy. You got 3 different perspectives. You got Kirk back in the hack, a skip of his own, calling it from back there. You got Dunstone in the house, and then you've got Braden the whole way.
You see it's a good dynamic. The one thing that the test on that is things are going very good now.
Yeah.
Let's just say they just gave up a 3-ball, and then we'll see if that good conversation. That is the trick to a great team, is that in the face of adversity is we still have that.
The trust when somebody makes a call.
I think it's really
How's the weight?
Weight's good, me.
Because often, halfway down the ice, or you get across the hog line and you got to go to plan B.
Stay close for line.
Yep.
And who makes that call, right?
Exactly.
You gotta go line.
Just very good.
Hard. Yep. You gotta go line.
Very good.
Hard, Jared. Keep going.
Tap it.
Jared Latos, Braden Stewart on the brooms.
Okay, whoa.
Brady got a lot more movement on there than Kirk.
Just had to
That's for
save
sure.
that line. Good job.
And that'll stop up and
Good
sit
communication, guys.
1 blue right now.
Real good positioning on that stone.
Too early.
No, can't get to nose, eh?
I can with back 8 probably.
Yeah, I like this. A rock and a bit of room here.
Yeah, I think I can go pretty hard at it.
Like even if you get to nose with back line, we're still gonna sit 2.
That'd be great. Yeah.
That's
So
my
they want to come
favorite.
across
Even if
that
you make that and spin into here. Pretty
high
good
blue one
situation.
just
If I
above
hit
the T line.
3/4
Enough
roll
that they
with
can
it.
avoid
Like I think we
jamming
can
on their
give
own.
this a real good go and roll into there is pretty good.
I'm with you.
I agree.
Weight's
Just,
the key.
I think just
Counter for
between back line and hack.
this. Okay.
Yeah.
415, 420 kind of thing.
I hope I'm not jinxing Braden with this, but this is the shot that he's really good at. He's got a real nice
That's a boom.
feel.
That's
You
gotta be
think a
close, eh?
big, strong kid like him, he'd be he'd be a draw or hit guy. But
Let's
the
go, boys.
in-between
This is a
shots are
7-2,
the ones
so
that I
should
always
go
thought
there.
that he's as good as anybody at.
Braden Moskowy.
Pocket pick.
Whoa. Weight's good.
No,
No, can't.
So
it's got something under it though.
we're about just about half.
You heard them think that it's
Just to the
picked
half.
up something
Close deuce.
on the stone.
We're to the half.
We're just trying to pick it.
Yep. To the half.
No, we missed it.
Tough one, man.
And that actually moves that blue stone a little bit more under cover, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to get to it.
And now Shaun can change his game a little bit and move it towards the center line, which is where he wants to play. I think Braden was talking about, and many curler will know that you can feel
This
it when you got
one's
something
just all
under
the
it
way
in
in
your
the
delivery.
8
You have
foot,
a
so you gotta be
tendency to
half
try to
8.
shake it out with
Okay.
a bit of a snap release, and that was
Maybe
the
I'll be a
case.
bit
And he
deeper
probably
than
got
that,
rid of it
actually.
in the sliding path, but
make this one
just
really
didn't
good.
trust it when he got to the hog line.
But you still want to get over the other side.
Yep, I agree. It's a lot of ice. I shouldn't.
Okay. Same weight, I think, Brady.
I think I hair less.
Yeah, hair less, but it'll act the same.
Yeah.
See Shaun out there giving lots of ice, and there's what I consider to be a veteran skip. He's
That's
not
good.
necessary. All he has to do is get partially under the side.
Stay
The
close to the
key
line.
is
It's
not
not a ton of
over
line.
curling to
Line's
come
nice.
out the other side of that center guard.
Make sure we're there,
and setting
guys.
up a
It looks
double.
like it's really digging. Weight's more important. Line's perfect, guys. Get full 8. Really got to lean on it, Jared. Get full 8. Go, Jared, go!
Trying to drag
Go!
this in.
All the way!
See if they can get it into the 8 foot. They won't. It'll hold up in the 12, and still just 1 blue.
The only other
Half
thing I
gone?
saw was running the center into the side.
I'm just thinking if we can get here now.
Sure. Yeah, the only other thing I see is center try and pick that one off. So it takes all steel danger out. Playing this brings steel into it. I just think you play. Can you make anything good there or no?
Well, it depends how open this is. Like,
No, on the guard. guard into a quarter of that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, this is how, yeah, okay.
I think just get to here.
A little more risky, but if you like it, okay.
So let's go.
Or it's the same shot.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, they don't have much risk drawing around anymore.
I think it's something on the center or draw.
Yeah, I like either draw or rip it into there, Matty. I'm with you.
But if you can't make anything good with that, then
I'm okay drawing top
You can.
four,
It's
too.
tough. Like,
if you can you sit shot with it or no?
well, if you just sliver it off the top, yeah.
Well, okay, nice.
If you're seeing it,
Well, I mean, this is good. I gotta make it good. Let's make it.
Yeah, I'm okay with the draw, Matty, if that's what you're feeling.
I like it. We know it.
Yeah.
It's just these are a little harder. These over center.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Okay, 40.
That was pretty. He had his mind made up. He wasn't going to slash that long center blue back into here, and I'm with Braden in that. We come around this stone and get into the 4 foot. The scoring area gets pretty small if Meachem comes down and freezes on top of it. It's got to be really positioned well.
So the final stone for Braden Muskowee.
good line.
Just line.
I liked it.
Line's real good.
I liked it.
Close.
Really
Yep.
don't wanna.
Little bit, Kirk.
Really don't wanna.
Curling
You got
a
to.
little too much.
You got to.
You got too much.
Hard.
Yep.
Got too much.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
And will it hold up? It'll slide into the 8 foot.
Okay.
And now some room for Shaun to come in on top of it.
Yeah, I think it's shot rock, but that's kind of a moot point because Shaun is coming down in there, and that's just the concern that I think Braden had with going in there is you're great if you're full 4 foot on top of the tee, but otherwise, which I mean is a very makeable shot, but that was their concern, is that now we're going to start closing in that anywhere Shaun's anywhere from top 4 to throws,
we want to be top.
it narrows down the scoring area.
So the first skip stones and Shaun Meachem.
Room. Little room early. Lots of room. Whoa, if you can.
Start if you can.
6.
It's gonna have to curl.
Make it a 6. Jared's rock.
It's gotta curl.
Always Jared's rock. You don't need to. Just make it good.
Coming good now.
You can now. You can now. For sure.
They don't want to, if it stays open, they don't want to leave
Yep,
it too
yep, yep.
high.
Go,
that,
guys, go!
Dunstone
Go!
can play a double off
Keep
it.
going. Keep going. Keep going.
I think he's got it under good enough.
We're shot. That's
And
okay.
he's into the 8 foot.
Yep.
You heard them, a shot stone.
That's the problem with the positioning on that one. Either you got to be a little farther under. I realize it appears covered with a fairly long guard. Matt probably can play a hack waiter on that on that stone top 4 foot, and make the double and sit 3. Easy shot, nope. Makeable shot, yes.
I think hack's the weight.
Just hack. Yep.
Yep.
Hack,
Just to
boys.
try and get it underneath and get a piece of it.
Speed's good in here, eh?
And the double would be the bonus. Again, even if he makes that shot and sits 3, Shaun will have the same shot. He can come down and freeze that stone in the back of the 4 foot, that yellow Dunstones, and then take away the rest of them.
The way they're lined up, if you get a piece of it, is the double not just happening?
It probably is, yes. I think it'll be easier to play the double than the hit and stick. You don't have to flirt with the guard at all. And I bet from the hack this looks tougher than what we think. Is that it's probably not. You can't see it. It's always hard to throw this hackway shot on the stone you can't see.
So Matt Dunstone with the hammer, his first here in 2.
Clean.
Heavy hack.
Yep. Clean.
Whoa.
Easy. Whoa. Whoa. Off.
Clean.
Off.
I think
Clean.
from what we've seen in the
Clean.
draws,
Whoa,
there's
whoa.
lots of curl there.
Clean.
It's moving now.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
By the guard.
Yep.
He's got 1. And will he move it
Get over
enough?
there. Great shot, Matty.
Is it enough for 3? Looks awfully close.
Great shot, Matty.
Nice.
And Shaun knew before. Here we go. And could have hit it just a fraction thinner, and but that's a really good shot. And if he's got 3 even, no, I think that's only 2.
It looks like just line 2.
But it doesn't change Shaun's shot. He's got exactly the same shot. If he gets frozen onto the Dunstone stone in the back of the forefoot, he's probably got a force. So he's in a great spot. Tough shot, a little bit of pressure, but if he makes it good, he's got exactly what he set out to do at the beginning of the end.
I thought more.
This is the final stone for Shaun Meachem here in 2.
Oh.
It's huge. 9.
Oh.
It's a bull.
Right off.
It's pretty heavy.
Come on.
It's got to move.
13-7.
Jeez.
It's got to move and put on the brakes, and this is going to slide right on through. So now there's an opportunity to get 4 here.
It'll be interesting whether they decide to take a run at that.
Look at Braden. They're taking a run at it, Lyle.
Anybody that knows me would draw for 3. I'm not about risk. 3 points
So
on even end.
if we could see the overhead, what's the risk of running that yellow,
yeah, it's,
the high yellow back? What's where do you lose out on 2?
the only thing is if you were maybe a little bit heavy, a little bit positive, you might just pick that yellow one out of there.
Like if you catch a little bit, I mean,
you're right. It's a very makeable shot, and Matt is really good at this. The draw, though, is just that's I always call it a give me. This one they'll actually have to throw.
3 points is enough.
I think it speaks to the confidence they have as a group. They're a very confident group, and I know when Kirk talked about we had lots of good conversations about changing this into another team. He said their ability to make that shot and their confidence to try it speaks it right here.
Braden was just taking a look over. There is a very, very outside shot that they'll hold 5 here. If they happen to get, you just don't know which way they're going to bounce.
Yeah, I think they'll move theirs before they move the blue one, so it'll probably be for 4, but 4 is a pretty good count.
4 is on the table here for Matt Dunstone.
We did see this shot going to the corner. Isn't quite as much curl as to the center line, and we've seen Braden, who just overthrew it ever so slightly, and it didn't curl. So we'll see if Matt's curls a little
Back
more.
line.
Final stone here in 2 with the hammer. Trying to put up a number.
Clean.
Whoa! Clean.
Clean. No.
Clean.
Clean. Really good.
Get a piece. Bang, bang.
Nice, buddy.
And count them. That's 4 on the board
Throw, Sheriff.
for Matt Dunstone here in 2 to open things up.
Not a kid. Great throws. Nice shot.
And another look at
Good
it.
start, kids. Good start.
That's what Matty Dunstone does best. Is give him a tough shot for big points, he'll make them.
The Vaderstad Saskatchewan Super Series in the semifinal. Matt Dunstone out in front here in Regina.
Atlas Apex Roofing. The most knowledgeable, the most experienced, the most trusted name in the business. Atlas Apex, the top choice for industrial, commercial, and institutional roofing. Atlas Apex specializes in re-roofing, restoration, full-service maintenance, and emergency repairs. Customer service is our top priority, taking care of our clients in a safe, efficient, and timely manner from coast to coast.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
A 4 on the board for Matt Dunstone. In 2. So now Shaun Meachem's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, he does. One of the things that I have noticed about Matt and Braden and their team last year was I watched their line scores a lot because, of course, they were the competition, and you'd watch it, and they blew a lot of teams out. They have that ability. Once they've got you down, they continue to apply pressure. And I I think after what happened to Shaun last night,
split center there,
that
somewhere in that area,
a little bit of the life out of him.
Like that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. You don't want to look past, the 6 ends that are remaining, but with Ryland Kleider beating Matt, it was a 7-3 on Friday night. Be interesting to see how the response is this afternoon, if that's the match.
Want to be full 8.
There's a couple positive things that I've seen out of, and I apologize for always talking about Dunstone, the Dunstone team, but I'm linked. And
hey, Dean talks about Ryland's rink a lot. It's
just who you know, and you got a little bit more inside information on. But one of the things that did strike me about them is they made no bones about it. They were cleanly beat, outshot all the way by Kleider on the opening evening, and it was interesting. It didn't take too long, and I said, now what? They said, oh, don't worry, we got an idea. We seen what they're good at, and as we develop that book on them, we'll try to find some ways to beat. So it's more than just great shot making as you go forward. So, and that'll be, that's, and I'm sure Dean and his team probably have the ability to have a book on these guys too. So
you start to understand what shots they like to play and want to play, and
where are they really good, where they maybe show a chance of having that miss, right?
Yep. Well, that shot's not going to get across the line.
And one of the things that I find here, the other factors, you have a belief that say, no, let's get the skipper to throw out turn. It may have nothing to do with the other skip being poorer at out turn. I think that is uplifting for your team. You feel like you got a place to attack. So if you set that up, you go, God, we got him shooting out turns. Well, he isn't going to throw those any worse, but as a team, it's uplifting for you, and you can just make more shots.
Yeah, what about tapping it?
It's about belief, right?
It's about belief.
Triangle, is that nuts?
Or just bunch it.
Something like that.
They might make shots, but we're executing the game plan.
Mm-hmm. It's
could just try that.
Yeah,
is it crazy to try a little back liner and roll into the rings?
Even if you get it to like back here.
Do we try the back line, hit an inch, and roll in?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
It's probably worth a goal.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if you flash it and we're in no worse shape than throwing one in
Give
the
her
rings,
a good goal.
So.
Just through weight.
Yeah, just through, Kirk.
Okay, so just through.
That doesn't want to leave
you like
Shaun
that?
with anything that he might be able to use to set up for 2.
Get the weight good.
You see the center line tick made a great deal. This shot has not been made a lot. I've seen it made. I've seen it made in crucial situations.
Weight's good.
I think it's today players throw it with nothing to lose, and I don't think they put quite the effort and practice into ticking the corner that they do ticking the center.
Yep. Whoa. No, never.
Whoa.
Never.
Oh, come on.
Nice little tick.
Get it. Touch it.
Sit down.
And
Great shot,
into the rings.
That's great.
Great weight.
Oh, it's so close.
The difference also in curling club versus national championships is the sheets are a little wider at the national and at the world level, so there's more area to tick it into it. And I see some of the European teams are getting very good at moving that into unplayable position.
7-8. Lock it on. 8. Line's fine.
Line only.
Hit.
Real close.
Trying to
Just
now.
all you guys.
We're bumping. We're 9. We're 9.
Yeah, it's running like it's.
The other thing you'll see at a national championship or in
fine,
an
Braden.
arena, I guess, is the fact that you have a tendency to have a little bit of frost buildup on the outsides from the humidity of the crowd inside, and so that tap you can drive it out into the frost and it stops before it hits the divider and it makes that shot easier.
Buddy.
In good curling club ice like here, that is a delicate shot.
Makes it that much more difficult.
Yep.
Yep.
I deuce.
Yep. Gotta go. Good. Good pair.
Saskatchewan men's tankard set for Estevan in the new year.
Nice pair, Kirk.
And Kelowna for the national championship, the Tim Hortons Brier. Now that's all according to plan.
Yes.
Tentatively, yes.
It's 10.
Okay.
Again, hopefully a lot of the things that the teams did here and how careful they were with off-ice activities, etc. Hopefully everything goes good here, and we can continue to expand the ability to play. There's nothing bulletproof, but I think they've got a good system here.
Braden Stewart's the second for Shaun Meachem.
Pretty good throw.
We'll knock one out of there.
Just started early.
Yeah, I didn't think I threw that bad.
You were.
All right, guys.
You've seen this one a couple times.
Yeah, you betcha.
So now they'll just get rid of it.
And there's nothing more disappointing for a team that's trying to come back than to lose your only corner guard. It's just like someone just punched you in the stomach.
Go.
You just go, now there's nothing.
Yep.
So we're going to have to fight to
Clean.
this end.
Good. Shot.
And when it's 4 on the board,
Yep.
taking a single is off the table.
Yep, it is, absolutely.
Talk about how good the curling is in this province. Brady Scharback, who talked about, his abilities as the third for Shaun Meachem. We mentioned this yesterday. He played in a mixed doubles event last year in Battlefords and won. And that was an event that included Brennan Botcher out of Alberta, who's a favorite every time he steps onto the ice.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, these players are all very skilled, and like I say, I like the fact that they've had some national experience. I love the fact that they're of that age where they're improving yet, and that just I've made this call, and I'm starting to look a little bit bad because I made this call a while ago that we'd already seen one of our teams come out and do it, but I think, and I've often said this, and I think if you look at history of some of the great players, I'm going to use Brad Gushu as an example. And I'm thinking around the age of 35. He'd been around, he'd won lots, played great, he was an outstanding player, but all of a sudden the light went on, and he became that dominant player. And their age is a factor for some, in fact, for most players. So you've seen more houses, you've seen more situations, and from a level of mental maturity, I think that is about the time from maybe in the mid-30s to above or below that is when you can see teams and players peak, and these players are going into that time frame.
And you start to get the bounces.
Yep. Yes.
Forever it was his Gushu going to win one.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden he's won 3 of the last 4.
I remember this kind of clearly, and it's probably a pretty good little story, is before he had lost Nichols at third, and we were playing in the Kamloops Brier, our first Brier. We were really excited to be there. We knew Brad was going to be one of the teams, so when we played him, I think we got a little fortunate. I won't tell that part of the story. I'll just say we beat him. And I remember about halfway through how dejected he was because he had been there so often and hadn't won. And he walked by the Tim Hortons always has the donuts. He goes, "Well, it's that time of the week," and he grabbed the donut and ate it right in front of him. I don't think Brad eats many donuts anymore, but it was just one of those things where he just felt like he just couldn't get on top of what he was doing, and now he's virtually unstoppable. He is in the prime.
Absolutely. But at some point, you just know. Mm-hmm. And then the bakery is free game, right?
Yep.
It will happen for Saskatchewan. It will happen.
We might even see a run of it. I just like the fact that there's a bunch of good athletes out there that are pushing each other. And
look at the run that Laycock had and the world success, on the tour. And
Clean.
Even look, further than the Tankard last year.
Clean.
With Kirk and teams like Meachem. And for Matty to come all the way through the back door, through the 4th qualifier, just to get in. He beat Meachem by 1 to get out of it and, squeaked through and all of a sudden had the great showing at the Brier and won the bronze medal. And so that's how close all of these other Saskatchewan teams are. Hey, one break our way and we could have been on that run.
And again, we talk a little bit about skill set, practice, training, all of this, but it becomes a case of when you truly believe. Not when you talk about believing, but when you truly believe inside that you are the guys. And I do get this sense with the Dunstone team right now that they are believers. They think that they can go out there, and they would love to get out there and go play a Grand Slam to test that medal, right? This is great competition. Make no mistake. We're not. These are good curling teams, but you need to test yourself and see if that true grit and that true confidence is there when you play the best in the world.
Good. A little.
Well, and even for these other teams, to go on a run and have that success of, 3 or 4 teams that can play at the world level. You talked about Meachem at 29 in the world. They got to play in some events now. We need to be able to pull these events off like this successfully, so that we can have more and more and build the momentum towards the new year.
I think this particular
should be good as any,
Super Series is really good for everyone. There's no question. But I think some of the advantages are that a team like Matt Dunstone now, who normally doesn't play in Saskatchewan because there's no World Curling Tour events, you don't see him till tankard time. And so for some of these teams, if he's going good and they're doing all the things right, also can say, how much better do I have to be in that company before tankard? So I think it's good for the Saskatchewan group of players to be pushed a little bit and have a gauge of how much more they have to move the yardsticks ahead to knock Dunstone
Curling
off
early,
when
but
February
it's
rolls
fine.
around.
You don't have to. Line will never be an issue. It's deuces if you ever wanted to. Put it on the tee.
Final stone from Matt Dunstone.
You're good.
Here in 3.
15-2. It should be bonanza.
Took a little bit of time trying to find a spot that they felt like Shaun would struggle the most with the blank.
Nice end, boys. Good job, buddy.
One of the greatest things, we talk about those open mics. Love the different catchphrases and the different sayings, right?
Yep.
That one might stick. It's going to be bonanza. That was Braden Musco.
Well, it was good, but it wasn't. Oh, well, another inch of curl would have been bonanza.
Hey, it might have. We got the blank here in 3. So Shaun Meachem will hang on to the hammer. Trying to find a way to chip away. 4-0. Dunstone leading here in the semifinal.
At renewmyplates.com, get it out of the way. What do you say? Renewmyplates.com. The family's making plans and they're gonna need a ride. Don't let license renewal keep you on the sidelines. Renew your plates at renewmyplates.com. Anytime, anywhere. Suit and tie or underwear. Renewmyplates.com. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. Renewmyplates.com.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Peterson Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends.
Well, we'll start checking in on the Facebook feed as you're watching on Curling Zone on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. We'll try and check in, find some of your comments if we can. Give some shout-outs. Let us know where you might be watching from. Want to say good morning and hello to Henriette Hardy. He's a big Saskatchewan men's curling fan, so good morning. Hope you got the coffee on and enjoying the game. I said this to Dean yesterday, but that's the messages we were getting yesterday watching these games, and especially in the morning draw, the message came in, and coffee's on, curling's on TV.
Similar in here.
That's enough.
Cold air. This is perfect. Finally, it feels right.
Which is okay. Yeah.
I've often found that, and I've said this for a lot of time.
Same throw, dude.
I sometimes feel a bit concerned for the professional curler. And when I say that is that they start in August, and I know one year Kirk finished with his mixed doubles and overseas in end of May, and I go, that's too long a season for something that isn't truly a professional sport. And so I like when it gets a little colder. I like going to the rink. I think curling fans like to follow the game once the weather isn't that great, and I think this is the right time of the year for the season to start. I realize that's probably an old dream of an old guy, but this is curling season, and I think that's a great comment there. It is cold weather, the coffee's on, and let's watch curling.
Let's watch curling. Curl up on the couch or in the chair, and away we go. And tell you, it felt like curling yesterday. Minus 13 when I rolled in here at 8 in the morning. Getting ready for the opening draw of the day, and you got a hot coffee in your hands, and that's good. We're up in the lounge, though. It's climate controlled in here. You can see some of the guys. Well, Shaun Meachem, he had the hood up for the first end.
Well, you shouldn't have let everyone know that, Darren. I could have at least when I said something dumb, I could have said, well, it's just cold, man. I'm just freezing up.
Exactly. You're making notes of all the calls you make, right? I mean, that's what Dean was doing yesterday when Ryland was playing, right? Well, I think he should do this.
Sure.
Make a little note of it.
When still coaching.
Exactly.
I had a little chuckle working yesterday with Warren Woods. We go back a long ways.
Come around it.
I seen Warren making notes, and he always did, but he was making a lot more. And he goes, Lyle, he said, you know what? He said, I'm getting older. He said, I got to write things down to remember. And I go, oh, that's great. I forgot my book. So that tells you how old I'm getting.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's a long time. How many tankards did the two of you do? I remember watching those for years.
I think probably in the neighborhood of 15, something like that. And it was always fun to go to the communities. Curling was a big deal, still is a big deal. You're always welcomed in, and always had a lot of fun.
Top 8, full 8.
It's good.
Top 4.
Kirk Myers trying to bring this one in.
On this line, we want to be a bit deeper than that.
Yeah, we're top button almost.
Nose freeze.
Yep.
You have to. Yep. Hard keep.
So now Braden Muscowie gets on the broom. Going to drag it all the way. And that'll sit right on top.
That's really good.
I like the way the guys are still working very hard on exact positioning, and you can see it there. The Meachem guards are not in the perfect spot in that there's a double peel available there for Kirk now. And
back 4.
Back 4, back 8. Okay.
Just the little things, putting that that other corner guard just a little bit higher, and taking away the double takes 2 shots to get at things. So
maybe a hair big.
Precision rock placement. It's tough when a team is doing it well. They just don't give you anything. You make good shots, but you just can't get anywhere if they're positioning really well.
You play it well. You hope for one opening, one miss, and it just never comes.
Doesn't come. Yep. Just because they're placing the rocks really well.
Whoa. Pretty good. Right.
So that'll sit on top and knock the bottom yellow stone into the 8-foot. So right now sitting 1 yellow for Team Dunstone.
Half rock.
I think I thought Matty might go for the double peel, but that other corner is totally choked off with a perfect come around full 8-foot over there. So I think he's just going to take the one here and be satisfied with that.
Clean. Good shot. Oh, boy.
Boy, Kirk.
And simple shot. Peeled the guard. And
it's actually really
Shaun Meachem still with the hammer here. After blanking in 3.
It's dead buried, but yeah.
Yeah, we're not you're just throwing, not even T-line, just.
Okay.
Your back line.
We only need to move it a couple inches just so there's room to get in.
Right. Shaun said it well. He's trying to open up that corner guard again.
Your back line plus.
His shot.
Just play the freeze, basically.
Yep.
Line's good.
Final stone from Braden Stewart.
Room right now, room.
21-year-old out of Saskatoon.
Little room.
Oh.
Easy.
Clean. Line only.
Whoa.
Line only.
No. Curl it, Brady. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hard, Brady.
Hard.
Brady Sharback on the broom, the 3rd.
Hard.
Trying to get on the corner.
Okay, shot. It's good.
Just doesn't want to go.
Yep. I think just nose it for now.
I'll nudge that over.
He didn't really do what he didn't open up the corner enough. I guess you possibly could get around, but see Maddie's going to come down and hit that on the nose and take away that corner again. At some point, Meachem will probably have to do something with the stones in the forefoot as well.
Clean. Just board.
Clean. Yep.
Just board.
Yes.
And then they'll likely be grouped
Hard.
together.
Deuce, you really got to go.
Hard deuce.
That one really snapped.
Whoa.
Trying to stay on top of it. And they'll hit and stick right there. It was Dustin Kidby on the broom.
I think Dustin's another really good fit on that team. When you got three guys with kind of strong personalities, you don't need a fourth one. Dustin just goes out there and does his job well, and he does it very well. And again, I think it's just another compliment to what works on as the group right now.
Team Dunstone trying to build towards another run at a national championship. Got to get out of the very tough Saskatchewan field first. And it's the first big event on the calendar, the Saskatchewan Men's Super Series.
Stay.
Will the shooter hang around?
Key for it to be in the rings. It changes everything.
It just came back around and just biting a piece of that 12-foot. And Matt will confirm that for us.
I think we try and roll it somewhere where anything around here we could. No.
He can't do that, can he? Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
What if we just try and make this?
Sure, and if I roll out, I roll out.
Yeah. Firm?
Yeah, in turn.
Thick
what am I hitting? Big half?
Thick half.
Whoa.
So trying to catch that biter, Braden Muscowie.
Whoa.
That's fine.
Whoa.
Got a piece of it, and it'll slide just underneath and out the back.
I don't think they were real concerned about staying there. I think the thought was maybe if we get them set side by side in the back of the forefoot, the tap on the top forefoot stones would go into those, but I think it's just as good gone.
There, though, isn't it?
If you dead freeze on nose, don't they just get rid of everything?
What's that? Nah, they could never get this one out doing that.
Okay, whatever you're seeing.
I'm just not sure if we can get there. That guard's in the way. Just go here, I think.
Yeah, what do they do if we do that? Yeah.
That's
a
shot.
Just guard it. And then how do we get two?
You think they'll guard it?
Just top four weight.
They're setting 1-2.
The corner's there.
Ask them. Do they just guard it if we go around here?
Brady's not comfortable with it.
Probably okay.
Yeah.
And then you run the yellow.
I think that's what we're hoping for. Like.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Kip.
I agree.
Kip.
I do too. I think I like Shaun's call. I think you got to get around that corner. You're in big trouble. You're not 1 point down. You're 4 points down. You got to, and that'll prevent Maddie from being real quick to guard.
This can't be any deeper than top four.
Okay, what are we looking for? It's not full speed here, hey? Like not like last game. Are they coming up a bit feet? 15. Yeah. So I need a few feet more than I've been through.
And you can't. You're not going to get it all back at once.
Right.
And if you look at the ends with the hammer, the idea is you get two, give up one, get two, give up one, get 2 and 8, and claw your way into an extra.
Try to make it happen.
I really liked it.
Line's great. You can go.
I like it. All you guys.
Full 8, guys.
He's got really good line. May not be enough
Line's
weight.
perfect. Come on.
Trying to drag this as far as they can. Brady Stewart and Jared Latos. How far can they bring it?
Good sweep, guys.
It's going to stay exposed a little bit.
Pretty good shot.
Underneath.
I think it's too straight to hack that out, but
it'd be pretty easy to just keep it around over here, I think. But I don't know if that's that bad. If we back line and just disrupt this, maybe.
Yeah, you probably got like.
Do you have enough?
Well, I'm gonna say you
probably have a third, don't I? A third?
I bet she doesn't have a third from.
That, or I just come and tap this a bit.
Kirk's going to go back into the hack and take a look.
From the left-hand hack there, as he's looking down the sheet, it's not quite as much.
Yeah.
So I mean, you still could just try that hack and just roll it into that bundle.
Touch the guard, it's not bad.
It's
I got
not at all.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I roll in front of it somewhere in here too, right? I think it's probably worth a go.
I think so.
We know the spot real well.
We do, yeah.
Like, don't kill that, but move this around at all.
Yeah,
It's
and it
bonanza.
opens it up. And
Yep.
I think so.
Yep. I like it.
Okay.
Just hack.
Yeah, like.
Hack. I'm gonna throw hack.
Hack. Okay. Just.
How's that?
Love it. Let's get the weight right, man. Yeah, really hitting an eighth or so is about right. So.
Yeah. Quarter's pretty close, eh?
Quarter's great. Yeah, quarter we're coming in nice.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, if I just skinny the guard, I'm probably hitting too much. Yeah.
So Skip Stone's here in 4, and Matt Dunstone to play first.
That shot I gave you in
When he hit the hack, he's pretty comfortable, because I always find that the player looking down there who isn't throwing the shot always sees a little more than the guy throwing the shot.
Oh, no, there's lots of room.
Yeah.
You're not the one jumping out of the plane, okay? You'll be fine.
I think if the weight's good, it's a nice broom for you.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Just hack.
Yep.
The only danger here would be to overthrow it a little bit. If you crash on the guard, you're fine.
Heavy hack.
Heavy
Yep.
hack.
Yeah, I think Matty turned that one a little.
Hard.
Heavy hack.
Hard.
Heavy hack.
Kid B hard on the broom.
Hard.
Trying to get it by the guard.
Whoa.
And he'll just bump off that guard
Good shot. That's fine.
and spill into the rings.
Maybe. Okay, it'll go now. I can try. It's fine.
Nice throw. That's the way you got to make that.
So Kirk swept that one, tried to sweep that one out of the rings at the end. They've eliminated the sweeping beyond the tee line.
Oh, right.
Right?
Yes.
And we came into the confusion of it yesterday, and the rule is you no longer sweeping the rocks beyond the tee line to avoid having two teams in the house at one time.
Correct.
It's not a change in the curling rules as much as it's a COVID-19 measure for this season. So can you sweep only your own stone?
I guess you can.
Or can you sweep the opposition's stone if it's your shot? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you're already in the house sweeping your stone, can you sweep any stone?
I don't believe you can sweep an opposition stone behind the tee line. I believe that's. And again, if somebody knows the rule better than me, by all means, shoot us a
And
note.
Meachem can't jump up and sweep
Right.
any stones
Right.
when it's not your team's shot. But it's all in an effort to keep social distancing measures in place and keep two teams away from the house at the same time.
And I mentioned this yesterday. Of course, because I worked so many years with Steve Laycock, he had mentioned that rule should be there anyway. He goes, why are we creating that confrontation for 3 feet of, because there's always people ramming and banging and complaining and fighting behind the tee line about whose rock it is and who's got the right. It's not a clear rule. So I think that I'm not so sure it isn't a good change to stay that way even after the fact.
I would like it.
Mm-hmm. I really don't. I don't think it needs to be a have to change it back.
If your team's in the hack throwing, you can sweep whatever you want.
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
The sheet is yours.
Yep. And
Hit 3/4, eh?
again, it makes very little difference back there.
It?
The odd long roll where you can make a little difference, but not much.
Just a nice firm.
Okay, yeah, 2/3, 3/4.
Try and hit 3/4, boys.
So it looks pretty good right now for Shaun Meachem, lying 3. But Matt's going to take care of that.
Fairly easy double. The bonus would be if you could roll behind the Meachem stone.
I think just an inch of ice. That's fine, yeah.
Gotta be careful. He needs to make this at 3 could sneak into play if he overcurls it a little bit.
Yep.
Final stone for Matt Dunstone on the way.
Gotta go.
Really gotta go.
Hard deuce.
Really gotta go.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's 2, and he won't save the shooter. So
Shot, Matty.
it'll be a draw for 2, an open draw for 2 for Shaun Meachem.
That was a 4-0 throw. He made sure to make it on the safe side, and that makes sense. You got to play the scoreboard. It's got to influence your throw a little bit, and play it safe. If you give up 2, you're still up 2 with hammer playing 5, and that's a pretty good position to be in.
It's good, I thought. A little warm, but.
The final stone here in 4 on the way.
Do you need to split this?
9. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta go then. You gotta go. You have to commit.
It's not through, Brady. It's not through.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
It's close, but it's not.
And it'll catch a piece of theirs and spill into the 4-foot.
2.
And 2 on the board for Shaun Meachem here in the 4th, cutting the Dunstone lead in half. We're halfway home here in the semifinal. And Shaun Meachem's rink is on the board. 4-2 at the Vaderstad Saskatchewan Super Series presented by Calidon Leasing.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Peterson Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait, do it right now.
The Highland Curling Club has been a wonderful host for the Saskatchewan Super Series this weekend here in Regina. And still a long ways to go here today. The championship final coming up a little bit later on this afternoon, again scheduled for 1:15 local time. That's 3:15 Eastern for those of you viewing in other regions of the country. We've got viewers all over North America. Michigan, we had viewers yesterday in Florida.
Gotta go.
So appreciate all the comments and where you might be watching from.
Line's perfect. Try and get a 3.
Oh.
A little bit. Nice, good. Nice. Bye, Jared. Shots.
Yeah, this is the one thing about the 5-rock rule is that there's going to be action, and it'll just be one of those.
Love that call. Didn't see it coming, but boy, I like it.
Just here.
Hey, buddy.
I love it. They're having fun.
Oh, Braden is entertaining. I wouldn't have thought a bunch about it either, and I do like it. I think, and the one thing that you do see is Dustin has been really good at this shot.
Got hack here.
I'm not sure I've seen him miss a tick here yet this weekend, and he's played quite a few. It is a shot that Matt obviously likes and very effective.
Clean.
Aaron Myers watching in Winnipeg. Different spelling.
Good one.
Jason's watching from Rankin Inlet in Nunavut.
On yours.
So good morning, Jason.
Good shot.
Patty's in Kingston, Ontario. Craig Watson watching from Trenton, Ontario. Nels Edwin Arvidsson is in Pritchard, BC. Curled in the Highland for years. Big smiley face emoji. Love it.
No, we're going around everything.
Like it?
You might know this. Natasha Vokey says Skip Dunstone sure has the Manitoba tuck.
He does. It's a
thing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's interesting. I always think that he grew up probably watching Mikey McEwen and Jeff Stout and modeled that delivery. It is the same delivery. There's no question that those were the guys who probably looked up to learning the game.
Can he do the 360 though? That's the real question.
It just made a big move there. Sorry.
My guess is he probably can.
Deborah's watching in Grand Junction, Colorado. Glenda agrees with you. Love the 5 rock rule for that reason. Lots of action.
Pretty close.
2/3 to half.
There's still an onus, and here's a great example. Meachem misses a shot, and now if Kirk throws his double peel, end is virtually over. So
hard, Moss.
That didn't sound good when he said, "You gotta go."
Whoa.
Double peel, but it'll jam on the yellow one in the rings and leave one bluestone up in the 12-foot. Kind of camouflaged in that ring a little bit. You got to find it.
Okay. Still got some game loss.
That force isn't bad. Same weight.
I think Kirk's got to be pretty disappointed in that. He left a center guard there and one of their stones in the rings, and because there was really a good opportunity to end this. If you can get that double peel, force blank and 5, this game is getting out of reach for Shaun Meachem. There was a bit of an opportunity missed.
Line only.
Okay, you're okay.
Line only. We're heavy.
Okay,
we're heavy.
You're by.
And we kind of went through that formula. You have to force a 1, get 2, force another 1, and get 2 and 8. But otherwise, you're staring down the barrel of needing a 3 or a 4-ender
Job, Red.
just to get to an extra end.
That works.
2/3.
That's his own stone, but Matt wants to get rid of that guard out front.
Get clean up the center line. He could drive it right on and stick it on that blue stone in the house. I don't think it's vital to stick, but you do want to make contact with it.
Yep. Yes. Hard.
Final stone for Kirk Myers. Well, he got
Great shot.
the high one, and it's out. That'll clear things up a little bit.
Yeah, cleaned up the center line, but again, I think Kirk would have liked to have rolled that shot off and made bigger contact with that blue. Looks like his intern's moving a little bit. It's something he'll probably have to work at during the week.
Probably that, I guess.
Or maybe
Probably
a spot
this.
in the ice.
Force in 5, pretty good. Maybe you get a miss. I'll try to give you guys a few feet more than I have then.
Okay, yeah.
The Colton Flash Rink, while they didn't have the greatest showing this weekend, it's a team in progress as they try and build with Catlin Schneider at 3rd. He was the 2nd on this Dunstone team that
Little room.
went to the Brier semifinal and won a bronze medal.
Well,
Colton Flash, too. I mean, he's got
it's running.
great history, too, playing with Kevin Cooey. And those two will play with a little chip on their shoulder, won't they? I mean,
I think so. It's one of those things that the question becomes is, does that chip help you or doesn't help you? Every personality is a little bit different. I wouldn't say it will or I wouldn't say it wouldn't, but you got to be careful with that too. You can want something too much, and that might be the case. They looked like they were pressing a little bit here, and the game that we covered when they played Matt, they actually controlled the first half of the game, and Matt was just hanging on, and then Matt made a couple big shots, got a couple deuces, and all of a sudden, the kind of the fire went out of them. And so that'll be a place that they'll look back and realize they'll have to work on that a little bit.
Yep.
of course,
Whoa. Clean. Off.
Catlin out and Kirk Myers in.
Whoa.
Team Dunstone, and on the other side, it's you can understand when you got great players available, and
just through.
Kevin Cooey's rink. I mean, for Colton winning a silver medal at the World Championships.
Right.
I'm aiming for just.
But when you've got a top curler in the world available to come in and join your team, Kevin Cooey wasn't going to pass up that opportunity.
No, John Morris, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, has won everything.
Easy.
A couple juniors over the course of Canadian World Juniors over the course of his lifetime. I mean, just one of those truly elite players. And if this is my thought, if you can motivate John, he's the best there is. And again, we talk about dynamics of the team. Is there somebody in that group that can make John as good as he can be? And that will be the test for all of these new teams. Is that dynamic? All of them know to slide. All of them know how to sweep. All of them know the game. It's just a matter of figuring out how they can make each other better.
Sure. Get the blank. Firm. Sliver high.
Disregard my throws.
Good little piece of honesty there by Kirk. He said, don't worry. He said, it doesn't curl there. It was just my throw.
No.
Slide this in.
Yep.
Get one. Oh, and just missing on the back to get a second one. And you see the frustration from Braden Muscowie after that.
I think he's pretty disappointed in that. There was a nose hit double would have been really good. Hit and roll under would have been really good. It was just one that he just got on the wrong side of the stone. And that particular type of throw with a little up weight inside out, they've just ducked back on all week. You can hear it if you watch the games that we do on the mics and listen. When you hear the thrower out of the hand go, whoa, you know what's about to happen. It's a half stone hit. Those rocks are inside out with weight. They'll never come back.
So the first for Shaun Meachem after picking up his deuce in 4. And Val Hunter's watching, says Shaun Meachem is my nephew and watching from Creighton, Saskatchewan. So good morning, Val.
Sean's a good one.
Touch warm.
Absolutely.
Touch warm right now.
You don't need to.
You can wait.
6.
You can wait. Whoa, room.
To my room.
5.
To my room.
Line's good.
Line's good.
It's Jared's rock. It's Jared's rock. Pop it over the other side.
We'll bring this in. How about this from Ron? Says, great feed. So you can thank IKS Live for that, guys, and the folks at Curling Zone for putting this on. But Ron says, great feed. Logged on from Puerto Morelos in Mexico, just south of Cancun. So, 1, jealous, because it's into the freezing temperatures here in Saskatchewan, and 2, how did you get to Mexico?
Right, I like that.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Send me the map or whatever you had to do to get approved to go down to Mexico.
I like this. I think you're real good on this.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm a little envious too. My hands are fairly cold today.
Third's perfect.
Absolutely, it is.
Not quite. You're sweeping for about a foot above the tee.
It's about a half on the floor. It's kind of our weight. Yeah, I got 15-2 on his.
So again, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be watching from, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook Live.
Running so we can work it nice in there.
All the results and the standings to catch you up on what's gone on throughout the weekend available, curlingzone.ca. Ryland Kleider, 3-1 through the round robin. So was Team Dunstone, but it was Kleider who beat Dunstone way back on Friday night. And they're waiting in the championship final for the winner of today's semifinal that you're watching now. Matt Dunstone with the hammer, his first.
Felt hot.
Don't have to.
We're pretty close.
Okay, let it work.
Still back 4, back 8.
Give it a chance. Give it a chance to work. You want to go here?
We're there. We don't wanna.
Okay.
Matty's a little hot on this one. This could be trouble for him.
We're missing it right now.
Okay, that's okay.
Yep, hard line. Whoa.
Turnover, no.
Sit, you dog.
Trying to get it to sit down. It will for second shot in behind that blue stone from Meachem. So now what does Shaun do with his final stone?
He's got to be careful he doesn't set up a double now. Anything that would be a double's a deuce. So he's just got to get it in a position that doesn't give Matt a chance for 2.
That's, as long as we get a piece buried, it should be fine. Yeah, the only thing there, you have to be a little bit careful.
Can you tap it out too?
Pardon?
Huh?
Can you? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he can definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Matt, they talked about it being 15-2 as a very quick spot, and Matt was aware of it. The tendency here is you can come onto that stone and bump it a little bit and maintain the freeze. It's so much better than pulling up short, but by just adding that little bit extra weight, didn't give him the curl and just went by it rather than getting onto the corner of it.
The first one was 15-2.
It happens a bunch,
Not really
particularly on really fast spots.
For a tad light, it's better than capping off.
Yeah, that's it.
Really, I don't think Matt has to worry a whole bunch about it. I think the big thing is to make the next one and get a single point, and 3-point lead is pretty big.
Yeah, very
So
close.
final stone from Shaun Meachem here in the 5th.
Line's good. Same line.
Same weight.
Line's perfect, guys.
It's got more line.
A little more room right
We can't bump. We can't bump. We have no line.
Lock it on. Line's good for the freeze. Line's good if the weight's good.
Can't bump. Can't bump.
Trying to put it right on the corner.
It's a good spot.
Right down low, and that's a good place to be.
Oh, I don't know if that's good enough.
No.
Yeah, I think.
And Matty will draw for one.
I think Shaun has really put that in a good spot, which again he's done all he can to cut down the size of the 4-foot. It's a bit of a teaser in that if you really threw it and scraped it, you might get deuce. Not worth the risk because you don't want to give up a steal or two. So I think if I had to carry that rock down for Shaun, I'd have placed it right there. Good conversation in the hack, talking about it being a little heavier. It wasn't quite as fresh as that out turn that he just threw. Probably half a second slower here.
Peel off 6 feet. Yep.
Okay. There's the number.
So final stone here in 5 for Matt Dunstone.
Line's good. T.
I thought good, guys.
Line's good. T line
there.
Line's good. T line. Line's good. Hasn't moved yet.
Hasn't curled a
Line's
whole
good
lot.
though. Running like it's here. Time says good, but here.
It's not getting to the center line.
Got to get it to put on the brakes. It's got to put on the brakes. Oh, and it does just in time.
Good judge, guys. Yeah, sorry.
So one on the board for Matt Dunstone, and that'll make him sweat just a little bit.
That's where you just love where the other team can't get in there and help that one out a little bit too, eh?
Yeah, they can't get in and sweep, or we might be tied.
Yep.
As it stands, 5-2, Dunstone with the lead through 5 here at the Vaderstad Saskatchewan Men's Super Series, and it's presented by Calidon Leasing.
At Core Grain, we strive to be the most qualified grain storage and grain conditioning experts in Canada. Visit us today at coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
Dustin Kidby's the lead for Team Dunstone, his first stone here. Look at the Briar. He was 90% curling at the Tim Hortons Briar last year.
Doesn't surprise me at all. He's really played well this week, too.
The whole team, I mean, you look at all the numbers from that event, and it just captured the province.
Probably would have been just kind of that.
Steve Laycock had done a lot of great work to build it up nationally for this province at the Briars, and seemed like it just got handed off to Matt, and they ran with it. Had a lot of big shots to get through.
I remember the excitement and I have to tell you, I don't remember what year, but we were in the Calgary Briar and again ended up winning a bronze medal. But there was a lot of interesting opportunities. We had a chance to. Steve was making a crosstown double in 10 against Pat Simmons to win the semifinal. And we made the double, but we lost the shooter, and we killed one in the back. And instead of hitting for 4, we got 2. It was almost an unimaginable situation to have happen. We lost it in an extra end, but the excitement it created in the province and in the arena there was unreal. With Calgary having a lot of Saskatchewan people in it, the buzz was just unreal. I hope every team gets an opportunity to be part of that.
Fight the 8.
Certainly, the Regina Briar was awesome too. I don't think anybody gets to play in a hometown Briar in the province. Will love it. That was a great experience. But it was unfortunate that we couldn't get ourselves into the playoffs. That would have just added to the fun. But
fight the 8. Split center is perfect.
We're knocking on the door. We just got to get
perfect spot, dude.
Get a little farther.
Yeah, and that'll come.
It will. Yeah.
How important is it to have a guy like Pat Simmons really having his fingers on the development of curling in this province and his role with Curling Sask?
Pat is a really dedicated guy. Whatever he takes on, whether it was skipping a curling team, whether it was mentoring. I know the first year that I was involved with Pat, my youngest son Dallin had come out of juniors and had played with him, and Pat did an amazing job with him, it's just one of those things where I laughed when Pat left and I went to play with Cooey. Dallin said, "Boy, I don't know what I'm going to have for lunch now because Pat always made that decision too." He said,
"So I still don't believe."
But he is wonderful, and like I say, he has a passion for the game. He knows the game, and he brings lots to the players, and he brings it in a way that a lot of great players would look down at him. He just brings it in a way that here it is. Use it, and if you don't use it, you should. But he doesn't force it on him, and I think he's really going to be good for the high performance because he's been
you got room, guys. Too much line right now.
Nice.
I think we've got good things coming for this.
You got to be tighter on this line.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear.
We're just short of your broom.
Close. Yep, go ahead. Got to go.
Because for a while it felt like a bit of a wasteland. Like you'd watch, covered all these times, and even though the team that won, you just felt that they weren't really ready to go there and compete or have a good chance of winning. And I don't feel that way anymore today.
Well, and it validates it for the young curlers too. A guy who's been there and had success at every level.
I think hack.
You can trust what he's telling you to be true.
Yeah. Hack weight. Warm.
Brady Stewart.
Yep.
Well, after giving up 4 and 2.
Yep.
Shaun Meachem, they're right on the game plan to coming back.
They are, and this ends a good example of it there with Kirk not getting the perfect guard down on it.
I should have let it rob harder. Sorry.
They won't be able to hold the shooter here. It'll slip out the back.
I think it's smart. Anything under here, we're going to have some sort of angle to make the run. Get us to go, Kirky. Quarter off.
What makes sense is the hit and roll.
What's that?
Front or under.
What's that?
The only other shot I see would be the hit and roll in front or under the corner.
I like off here. There's just nothing great for him in here.
Good with.
What do I got to hit?
You're looking at a quarter.
Okay.
Go for a quarter, Kirk.
Could get them all.
Back. You betcha.
Kirk can throw the up weight, so that this is kind of the shot that I think he'll have a good chance at take a good run at. Though he has been struggling the last couple ends.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Yes. Whoa. Yes. Hard. Yes. Whoa.
Guard. Spill the blue out.
Yep. Get it low.
And keep 2 yellows off on the corner. Open things up a little bit.
Great shot. Didn't get a great result. The corner's still there, but it's not a big corner, and they'll be able to be double peeled. So he's going to get there in pretty good shape.
Think about putting 4 up as it leaves no room for error.
Right.
Shaun needs his 2 here in 6.
Let's make this one.
And I think we've seen there's been a little opportunities. The windows have been open, and that the last shot for Meachem was a good example of that. Though Dunstone had 2 in the house, there was actually 3 guards up there. By rubbing that guard and losing his shooter, opened it up to this. There was an end on 6, which you had enough rocks in play that you could have turned it into something. By missing that shot, you really hurt your chance of a big score on 6.
It's not through. Go.
Both you go.
All the way. Go. It's coming now. Hard.
I'm going to drag this in behind.
No doubt.
It just stays exposed.
Yeah, just didn't get underneath. It curled good. I just don't think they gave it a good chance.
Seeing board.
Like that ice, guys? I thought it was minimum. What do you think?
Well, yeah. Take a little more if you like. Let's get close.
Okay.
Whoa.
You're okay. Clean it. You're okay. Clean.
Nice weight. No, off. Can't.
Close.
Can't.
Close.
Nope.
Not heavy, man. So you're gonna
Never touching it. No, I don't think anything.
Piece, and it'll roll over.
Good shot.
You got 1, 2, 3 all in a line.
You mean force Shaun now to move those stones because there's just too much granite there.
It was a pretty good throw, Moss.
I was just.
The 10.
Not really. We need to get 2.
That's true. It's very true. What do we need? 3/4?
Little less with the 10. You should.
That's fine.
Trying to get it under cover. Find some way to set up where you can try and scrape together 2 points.
The hit and roll will do it. It's just tough because you got to throw quite a bit of weight to make the double or ideally the triple. And if you throw it a little full, there's a risk of rolling out. And if you roll out, the corners are gone. So there's a little extra risk.
Roll.
So they get the roll. No.
Okay.
So one spills out. They don't get the roll.
Is that good 10?
I understand. I think it was a little bit underthrown, but I understand the risk there from Shaun's side. He didn't want to roll out. You roll out, you lose the corners, you're going to be forced, or a blank, and there goes 6. So I understand how they didn't put the sweep on that, but it's one of those situations now where, again, 3 points down playing 6, you got to take a few chances and really work hard to make that shot.
Hard.
Yep.
The final stone from Braden Muscowie here in 6.
Easy. Yep.
Whoa. Yep. Don't leave it now. Hard to it. Right to it. Yep.
Get rid of it.
Whoa.
Try and spread them out a little bit.
That's a good
Good
spot.
sweep, Kirk. Sorry,
Now
I
that
straight on
corner
you.
is almost useless.
Held that
They get
real
one
nice
wrapped
and
in there,
straight,
around
really.
there. There'll be 4th shot. And there's just not enough stones left with Shaun having only 3 left.
That's good.
And in that line that they're in there, you can't get rid of them all.
But they're not. I think that's really good rock positioning by
I don't like
Team
that. If you're
Dunstone.
going to play that, I think you got to play it off of one of the other 2 so that you can at least...
I didn't go back here.
Is there any double off the 2 high ones that might roll you undercover?
Hit and roll
I
there?
don't think so.
Hope they missed the short
Hard to
towel.
roll across that far.
That's fun.
You could just probably take the tie one and roll all the way and try to get underneath those corners and say, well, I'm third
not
shot.
bad.
Same weight, same throw?
Nothing good here for Meachem right now. The odds of him scoring 2 are not real good.
Down 3 in 6. Would you rather take one and work without the hammer, or would you rather blank and put an end off the board?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I think I've got nothing against scoring a point. Guys will take that. Very few will take just actually draw for the point, though. So it's one of those things that traditionally people just haven't taken that point. But
Okay.
And the shooter will spill out the back too, so
still nothing there for Shaun to try to generate 2. Played aggressively for the roll, underthrew it a little bit, and just overcurled.
Key, right? Let's get it even.
Exactly.
Wherever it goes.
Yeah.
Where did you have, sir? I didn't even see.
I had a bit more, but I think that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Again, higher than it's probably better than lower, eh? Yeah.
I mean, T-line's good.
Yeah. Let's split them up.
Top four is perfect. I think T's better than top 12 though, right?
Okay. Yeah, we'll put her on the tee.
You could hear Matt talk about it. By going on that side of the sheet, he certainly opens up the opportunity for Meachem to hit and roll behind that corner, but all Matt has to do is throw another one on this side. He splits the house, and he's got a force.
Rock above tee.
Again, nothing good for Meachem right now.
So the first now, Skip Stones. Matt Dunstone.
Line's never a problem. Top 4.
Top tee, guys.
Go ahead. This should be the fastest spot here. Have a look. Top 4 is the way. Right on my broom. Go ahead.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to come up short. That gives Shaun a opportunity to draw around it or hit and roll underneath it. That's a little high.
Well, it is going to stay just and bite the 12-foot. And you heard Braden mention T-line's better than 12-foot.
Yep. That opens up the door to the deuce again if he gets a hit and roll under there. And I realize Matty's got a short run, but certainly he's given him an opportunity.
Like that?
Matt had his choice right now. He'd take that stone and throw it against the wall. It's hurting him, and it ain't helping him.
Well, if you can roll it over, all you need to do is bite the 8-foot to be second shot.
Okay, sinker in there. Probably back 4 needs to be.
Do you care for shot 1?
Huh?
Do we have to be shot 1?
I don't know how much it matters. Yeah, just need to be.
Back 8.
We're gonna have to make some kind of a double anyway. So
Thoughts? Do they have to be shot 1?
I don't think it changes his shot.
I think I would in that.
Well, yes, you bite the 8-foot to be shot 1 because you're removing that stone in the 8-foot.
Right.
So
yes. Yeah, I think you still want to. Otherwise,
I think it's good.
It's better.
I think it's good.
Matt will just draw around that one he just
really
got
nice.
and sit 2, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that they.
Looks heavy.
Back 4.
Looks really
Oh,
heavy.
my apologies. I thought he was hitting and rolling.
So did I.
Yeah, no. Same ice for the draw. Which makes
So now if you're
sense.
shot 1, you're not covered.
Right.
Yep.
Good weight. I just don't think he got underneath it. He's probably at best got a quarter stone under, and it's a spot that Matt throws real well.
This will be an easy. Just remove it.
I mean,
so why not hit and roll?
It's a more difficult shot. I think that's. I think
they're made out of your hand with board.
What do you think of the board right there?
Yeah, I think you can go a little more. Like
Just board, like.
this is exactly where I threw. Hey.
Yep.
On that hit.
Yeah,
and roll.
I'm not gonna overthrow this with board.
Like I think if you throw center line with heavy hack, you're good. So I think
I think that with just board.
I agree.
You guys like that ice?
Let's make this good.
Yeah.
that's a real good comment by Braden there. Let's take the focus off. Let's go back to let's hit a half a stone, hit, roll full four. Maybe we can end this right now. It's going to be deflating for Shaun to throw that draw and cut down the 4-foot area because he's going to draw. Unless you leave it wide open. I think it comes down to that mental conversation where you have yourself. Well, I can't be wide. I can't be narrow. No, actually, I need to be this way to make the hit and roll. Right?
Yeah.
I think the comment changed the dynamic of the shot.
Talk about what you need to do, not what you need to avoid.
Clean. Whoa. Not too bad. Whoa. A little big.
Off. Whoa. Cat.
Clean.
No.
Clean.
No.
Whoa.
Off.
Slowly
Clean.
coming over.
Clean. Whoa.
Close.
Clean.
Yep.
Oh, it's moving.
Yep. Gotta go.
It's moving a lot.
Hard deuce. Hard deuce. Hard deuce.
Good positioning on this.
Got a piece. Can they get it over?
Nice shot, bud.
Pretty good. But they like to roll another half a rock. I think Shaun will be able to hit this if he wants.
He'll be able to play the hit. Now it's just deciding what you want to do.
Right.
Risk is if you hit it thin.
And be probably.
There's 3 other yellow stones in the house.
Whatever you're seeing.
Yeah.
You play it to draw in with a little backing and just nudge it out of the 4-foot.
Then I think Matt's got it in the perfect spot if he's drawing against it.
Okay.
Yeah, just cold draw, Meach. Like you're not using backing?
Yeah, that's the psychology. When you tell the kids to
You need to tell us.
don't fall,
Okay.
now all they're thinking about is falling.
Don't hit the water. Golfing,
Exactly.
Right?
Don't look down. Final stone from Shaun Meachem.
That's good.
Wait the same.
Here in
That's
6, drawing against 4.
Little warmer. Clean.
Whoa.
No, wait the same.
He's got good line. He's got enough weight. I don't think he can miss
You
this
can't
one.
bounce yet. You can't bounce yet. Can't bounce yet. Now you can.
Good shot.
Nice shot, Meach.
And he'll bring this right in. Beautiful touch from Shaun Meachem.
Saved the day there.
Did he ever? 1 on the board. He'd love to get the 2, but we go to 7 with 2 to play. Trailing by 2.
Atlas Apex Roofing. The most knowledgeable, the most experienced, the most trusted name in the business. Atlas Apex, the top choice for industrial, commercial, and institutional roofing. Atlas Apex specializes in re-roofing, restoration, full-service maintenance, and emergency repairs. Customer service is our top priority, taking care of our clients in a safe, efficient, and timely manner from coast to coast.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Two to play here in the semifinal. The Vaderstad Saskatchewan Super Series, presented by Calidon Leasing.
There.
With the hammer.
Line will be good.
And up by 2. Matt Dunstone.
15-4. It's really good here.
Trying to put the finishing touches on this and
It's there.
get his rematch with Ryland Kleider in the
Not
final.
nearly as much finish here either, so
No.
it's just running that much.
Good shot.
Chop.
Oh boy.
like it's almost touching tee.
No, but where are we going?
3, like as tight as we can.
I think Matt and the boys have played pretty well. It's hard when you're up 4. You have a tendency to pull up a little bit. I've seen them play better as a group, but I really and I think Shaun as a team they've made some good shots. But when the door has swung open a little bit, they just haven't taken advantage of the opposition's misses.
I don't want to go right now.
And I know me and Kirk had pretty in-depth conversations last year about the strengths and weaknesses of the team that he was playing with. And he felt like that was one of the things that, as a group, they hadn't seized on. He said, the very best in the world, when you make a mistake, get prepared to be punished. And they just hadn't felt like they hadn't taken that step yet. But I think that's what we've seen here with Meachem. Dunstone has made some mistakes, but they haven't done anything with those opportunities.
That's right, and you're waiting for a mistake. That's your opportunity to put 2 on the board, or 3, or 4.
Yeah, I think so.
And they don't come around very often.
And they just haven't applied enough pressure, and it's one of those things, too. If there's no pressure on guys,
just got by the guard too,
just no opportunity for them to make that huge mistake.
Get the weight right, Deuce.
Another look at Dustin Kidby.
Heavy hack.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hack weight.
The lead
Good
from
hack.
Regina.
Yep. Yes.
Hack weight. Hack weight.
Really got to go.
Braden Muscowie on the broom. Dustin doesn't often make him go to work sweeping.
But he did.
Dead bounce.
He sure
Wow.
did.
Weird.
I can't believe
They do that sometimes.
It's been a theme over the weekend, the lively rocks.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
And the 2 teams were
Deuce knew that was a dead rock.
It sounded
talking about that just now.
No problem.
It did. You hear the sound was different. It had a different sound on contact.
Yeah.
And it just didn't drive that blue stone very far.
Easy.
That might be the secret weapon there for ticks.
Yeah, it might be.
It seems like if the shooters want to roll.
Well, and if you make the note of which rocks do what,
right,
you can use that to your advantage. And Ryland had that. Ryland Kleider had that back in the early draw yesterday. He was playing stones 7 and 8, and 7 moved and 8 didn't.
Yeah.
And Dean caught on to that pretty quick, but I don't think Ryland did.
The interesting part of that is and I think a lot of teams are different, but one of the masters of that is Glenn Howard. I've seen Kevin Cooey do it as well. Look for that cutting stone. They like to have it, maybe another half a stone of finish on it. It allows them to get some spots where no one else. They try. I'm certain they're looking for ones that are weight-wise pretty close, but one that would have half a stone more curl, and then they use it as they need to use it. And you got to be pretty good when you start messing around with that. But I think once you've got that figured out, it is intimidating for the other team to think that I'm going to make this really good. And they've got a stone back in the corner that's going to do a little more than I've got to work with. So.
That's good if you can get it over.
Well, that was Kevin Martin too.
Yes,
he threw a bad stone.
We're not over.
That's back to the front end, guys. I'm never throwing that stone for the rest of the day.
I've seen Ben Hebert and Mark Kennedy standing amongst the stones. He's throwing them all. He says, "Where do we go?"
What do we give him now?
I mean, Kevin was a believer that if he had a bad one, he wasn't going to deal with it. But,
around the corner.
First thought was around the corner.
Hey, it worked out pretty well for him.
What's he going to do with that that's any good?
This would make us look at 2, which kind of.
I think we got some time for that.
That's unfortunate for Shaun Meachem.
Now we know the blank's alive.
Last stone.
Sure.
Couldn't get across the line.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Board.
You can't be wasting any stones when you're down by 2.
Well, and this really is
the
scoreboard is bad already for him. But what makes this worse is if Matt Dunstone can get out of here with a blank or a deuce, and the deuce ends
Weight's
it,
good.
and the blank makes it very difficult. And by losing that guard, the force is really gone.
Yep. Clean.
Heavy board now.
Whoa.
Heavy board.
Whoa.
Half rock's perfect.
Whoa.
Heavy board.
Final stone from Kirk Myers here in 7.
That's just a little hard. Close?
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good.
I think that's a smart weight. Yeah.
Is that the call?
Yeah.
10.
If we need to, we can lose one behind that one.
Yeah, and there you go. Now, Shaun is 2 down without playing 7 and hitting something, and he must just hate that.
Brady Sharback.
Roll it! Pretty good. Hard.
Whoa! Sit just on top of the yellow. A little separation, but
he said go.
Nicely done.
Dead nose, boys. A little bit Deuce's way.
He's doing his training for EMS.
I don't like
Brady is.
Like hitting it.
If I'm not mistaken, and I could be, last year when we played them in the tanker, he was in must have been an A semifinal game.
3/4.
He wasn't there. He had to leave for training, and Jeff's their coach subbed for him. It was one where you got to understand people have to make a living. It's one of those things that I sure hate to give that up at tanker time, but. This is for some of the guys. It's a part-time living, but it's pretty. You got to make sure you have something after the game as well.
Yeah, that's so important, and you see that with guys like Brady, and you even look at Dunstone's team. A lot of opportunities, but a lot of other careers and things that are flexible. Whether it's mortgage brokerage, you see a lot of real estate agents, things where you can be very flexible to get your training in and all of the competitions, and it doesn't hurt to have a couple of built-in sponsors. That helps too. You need those sponsors.
Without it, I don't believe you can compete at the highest level. I know from
that's all we need if we
over the years working with the top level teams that we're very fortunate in Saskatchewan. We've got a lot of businesses that really care about the sport, care about the development of our athletes, and get behind it. Because without it, I have to tell you, I don't think anybody can do it. I don't. You have to be very wealthy, and even that it's hard to justify. So good sponsors and good working relationships with
even if you
business
partners are really the key. It's almost as important as the game itself.
Much like golfers who try and make it, and it's so tough as well. You're only really making money if you win. So you need your sponsors to at least cover your costs, at least get you around. Because when you're playing, you're not working 9 to 5. You got to pay them your mortgage. You got to pay your rent. You have to.
Absolutely, and I always think too that the challenging part is when you walk into a season playing and facing the best in the world, and today that isn't just Canada, that is the Europeans and the Asians. All of them now are all presented with strong teams that are professionals. So you have to look at your schedule and say, this is what I need to do this year to be the best I can be, rather than this is what I need to do because this is all I can afford. This is the event I can stay. We need to don't spend as much time practicing, this sort of thing. And the ability to have good sponsorship allows you to do what you need to be the best in the world. And without it, you have to be something super special to compete.
Deeper, sorry, but
I think it matters.
Absolutely. So,
thick half.
Of course, big thanks to all of the sponsors of all of the teams.
Yes.
Playing this weekend and all season long.
Yep, really hard.
Yep.
Well, yep, really hard.
Final stone from Braden Muscowie.
Oh boy, this could get interesting.
Well played,
nice throws.
And that'll go straight out. Thought it might have jammed on the yellow and opened the door a little bit for Shaun Meachem.
Could have been really ugly. Yeah, if it.
Looked like a genius.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if we just move it.
You probably have to.
I think we do have to. I don't know that there's much option.
Nose isn't the end of the world, because then if he hits and rolls, we could probably loop on either side.
Yeah.
Like, I see where Meachem is going to the forest, but he's peeling the guard anyway, so we're going to get the forest late.
I think you had last couple ends here. Kirk and Braden just maybe have taken the foot off the pedal here a little bit. They've lost focus a little bit and thrown a couple what I call dogs and
pretty easy.
Open the door ever so slightly for Shaun Meachem.
Take the little roll.
Into skip stones now, and there's Shaun Meachem getting ready to throw. Down at the far end.
all they've done is put a little extra pressure on Matty. That's
Whoa! Little quiet.
this is where you look at your skip and say, geez, I could sure use a hand.
Little down. Whoa!
Trying to bail him out.
Anything you
If he stays open, it's not a real good.
I got it. Oh, I can't. Sorry.
Well, sitting 2 blue for right now. You're going to talk this over.
I think if they just really have to hit and roll underneath
If you
that
have
center
air,
guard.
just board.
And,
Just board.
actually
Yeah,
opens
like
up
if we
a
skinny
2
the guard,
opportunity.
Okay, just board then.
And you can see no matter what,
Board weights.
even if Matt doesn't make that and Shaun makes a hit and roll, Shaun
Board,
doesn't have
yeah.
a whole lot going on here. At best, maybe a
I got
steal of
some
one.
air, so.
Matt Dunstone with the hammer here in 7.
Good broom.
Oh, I think you're right on the money there.
These are 8 end games for those of you just joining us. So right down to the wire here.
The games that I've seen here, this is probably one of the ones that I would consider to be not quite as well played. Some of the games that we've seen here have just been incredibly well played. It happens a little bit with a big lead where everybody just takes a second and doesn't stay totally focused.
Little heavy. Hard. Hard. Gotta go.
Dustin Kidby. And now Kirk Myers on the broom. Trying to get it by, they do. It's going to roll out the back end, and
Fun.
the one blue will sneak out.
That doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt Matt. That might be as good as anything. Shaun will have to hit it or draw.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to draw and try and bury one.
I think that's a good call. You need to steal one, so there's the force doesn't do a lot for
just
you.
don't count that other one, so
Full
four.
after that one, dude.
that other one's like half in the force, so we just got to be better than that one.
Interesting. I'm not 100% sure when I think about the scoreboard here whether the force wouldn't be a real good shot. You hit that stick, you force Matty to take one. If he hit and rolls out, you still got the steal potentially, and you're 3 down coming home. And with the 5 rock, you get 2 corner guards, which is all you really need to generate 3 points. Well, and a lot of good shooting after that, but. There is that opportunity, and I think that's what's made the game really exciting. 3 coming home is not unthinkable almost in any situation.
Needing full 4-foot.
Holy.
And this needs to put on the brakes.
Wow.
And right back into full 8-foot, and it'll be a draw for 2 for Matt Dunstone.
If Matty can make that, that pretty much does it. Now the double corners can only, in theory, generate 3 points, so this is a big draw, and will put him in a position of real control going into the 8th end.
Is that the number?
Yep. 15 and a quarter would be real nice. Yeah, boys.
Still nice and quick. I think some of the other games we've seen, Darren, where you'd see that draw to the center line come down a little bit, but I think it's been a little less play. A lot of times you get center guards, both teams go at it for 4 or 5 ends right around the button. This game hasn't been. It's been a scatter around the ring, and it's kept the ice a little quicker.
Well, for Shaun Meachem, that great year last year, you mentioned the world rankings and stuff at the SaskTel men's tankard. I mean, he lost to Matt Dunstone in the 4th qualifier by 1. That would have got him into the playoffs. Lost to Kirk Myers in the first knockout in the semifinal. Right there.
Got a hair light, guys.
Yes,
T-line, line's good.
It's just that little bit extra, that one shot. We talk about that. And that's what the teams are striving for. And that's when we talk about Matt reaching that level of being a little bit, with Gushu and Cooey and Epping and all those top-end teams, Jacobs, those type of teams. You're just looking for that little bit extra, and Shaun's looking for that to get ahead of Matt, and Matt's looking at that to get ahead of the other guys.
Well, a draw from Matt Dunstone and handshakes from Shaun Meachem. And so it will be Dunstone and Kleider
We'll see you next
in
weekend.
this afternoon's final. Scheduled for 1:15 in the afternoon. Local time, 3:15 Eastern. Stay tuned to curlingzone.ca. If that changes, it'll be here on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Thanks, Lyle. It's been fun.
It sure has, Darren, and enjoy the final.
We will. Matt Dunstone on his way to the final to face the young guns, Ryland Kleider in their rink out of Saskatoon. That is coming up in just a little bit. For everybody, production team at IKS Live, and for Lyle Myers, I'm Darren DuPont. Thanks for watching the semifinal of the Vaderstad Saskatchewan Men's Super Series presented by Calidon Leasing, and we'll see you for the final.